If you're curious about the work penalty and whether or not it'll apply to you if you continue to work while collecting your benefit, that is what we're going to cover in today's episode. We got a comment by one of our subscribers, a nice guy Skull who's got some great content here on YouTube, so highly recommended, who asked a multi-part question about how his benefits would be impacted if in fact he continues working while collecting them. I'm going to go ahead and jump to his comment now so we can start taking that piece by piece. Before we get started, and as full disclosure, this video is for educational purposes only and should not be taken for financial or tax advice. Also, if you guys could do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, that helps further these educational videos. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So I posted this video about a month ago or so talking about the pros and cons of filing early versus later and got a comment by Nice Guy School. And I'm going to read that to you guys. So it says, I have a question that does not get answered well here on YouTube, might make a good video for you guys. If you start taking Social Security at 62 and start working on a side gig full time hoping to make money, what are the penalties and drawbacks when you start earning money beyond the allowance? I understand you lose $1 for each $2 after some threshold, but how does that really impact you long term? So I'm going to pause there for a moment and I'm going to sum up with a slideshow how the work penalty works, and then we're going to come back and answer the rest of this question. So will you have to pay the work penalty? And that depends upon two things. The first, will you elect to take your benefits before your full retirement age? Well, what is my full retirement age? It depends upon the year you were born. For those born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age is 66. For those born between 1955 and 1959, it increments by 2 months each year. Then it gets easy for those born 1960 and after. Your full retirement age is 67. Now, the second consideration is if you will continue working and earning an income while taking those early benefits. So the income you earn while collecting your benefits will be subject to an earnings test, but only certain types of income are subject to it. So I'm on the Social Security website. Here in the background, you guys can see that toward the bottom, the Social Security Administration only counts wages you make from your job or your net profits if self-employed. We include bonuses, commissions, and vacation pay. We do not count pensions, annuities, investment income, interest, veterans benefits, or any other government or military retirement benefits. So what is the earnings test? Well, that is the Social Security Administration's way of calculating whether or not you will have to pay a benefit penalty. It's based upon the exempt amount, and the exempt amount is the maximum that you can earn without having to pay a benefit penalty, and it depends upon your age. So before you reach your full retirement age, that amount is $19,560. So you don't want to make more than the $19,560, and if you do make more than $19,560, you will have to pay a penalty. Now that is a 50% penalty on your benefits. It's $1 in benefits withheld for every $2 over that $19,560. Now that changes in the year that you're expected to reach your full retirement age. And we can see that that is $51,960. So anything over that, you have to pay a penalty, but that penalty is decreased from 50% down to 33%, or $1 in benefits withheld for every $3 over that $51,960. So let's take a look at an example using Mary, who started her benefits early at the age of 62. Her retirement benefits are equal to $20,000, and she has a total earned income of $40,000. So the earnings test is pretty straightforward. We take that $40,000 and we subtract the exempt amount, which is $19,560, because Mary has not yet reached her full retirement age. So it's the lower of those two amounts from earlier. The difference between those is $20,440, and that amount is subject to the penalty. So it's $20,440, and the penalty we learned earlier is equal to $1 in benefits withheld for every $2 over the exempt amount, and this is the amount over. An easy way to say that is just a 50% penalty. So take the $20,440 she's over, multiply it by 50%, and that penalty is equal to $10,220. So what happens from here? the Social Security Administration will reduce the following year's benefit by that penalty. So her 2023 benefit will not be equal to $20,000, but instead it will be less than $10,220 and equal to $9,780. So what about in the year that Mary reaches her full retirement age? For the sake of the example, I'm going to assume that Mary doesn't turn 66, her full retirement age, until December 31st, because the calculation gets a little bit more confusing if we assume she turns her full retirement age earlier in the year. So Mary in 2022 is going to have a Social Security benefit of $20,000. She has a total earned income for the year of $70,000. And we do the same thing. We apply that earning test. So we take the $70,000 and we subtract from it the exempt amount, which is moved higher here because Mary is now going to be turning age 66 in this year. So that has increased to $51,960. The difference is the amount she's over, which is $18,040. That's what the penalty will be applied to. We see $18,040 multiplied by 33.33%. How do we get it? Well, it's $1 in benefits withheld for every $3 over the exempt amount. That an easy way to say that is 33.33%. That equals a $6,013 penalty. Now, her 2023 benefits will be adjusted. It will not be $20,000 like she's anticipating, but instead $13,987. That's the $20,000 minus the $6,013 penalty. So that, again, important takeaway, will not be adjusted until the following year, which can cause a huge cash flow issue for many retirees who are not expecting that correction. So we can see the work penalty is actually pretty easy. You're going to get an exempt amount that's based upon whether or not you are in your full retirement year. Before your full retirement year, you're going to get the lower exempt amount, and your penalty is going to be higher because it's a 50% penalty. In the year you turn your full retirement age, well, you get a much higher exempt amount, and the penalty is only 33.33%. After your full retirement age, you can earn as much as you want while collecting your benefit with no penalty. Let's get back to the other couple questions before we wrap things up. Is it a penalty, or is that simply going back into your benefit package in some form? Sample scenario. Let's say I start taking Social Security at 62, but immediately earn 2 times my annual threshold, erasing all of my benefit. Let's say I never collect any Social Security until full retirement age. Would my full retirement age benefit be the same as if I did not file to collect at 62 and waited? Is it a penalty, or is it simply a deferment of payments? If that's the case, then it is not one for $2 earned penalty, but rather a forced savings towards future benefits. I am unclear on where that one for $2 earned above the threshold is held and how it impacts future benefits. That is a great question, and honestly, one of the best I've heard in a while. You are talking about the refund of penalty that the Social Security Administration provides. So the good news is that the Social Security Administration will refund those penalty payments back to you with a higher monthly benefit at your full retirement age. For every 1 month worth of benefits that you are penalized, the administration will recalculate your benefits as if you had started them 1 month later. It's the same for those who don't work and simply delay 1 month. For each month closer to your full retirement age, your benefit will be higher. In the case of the work penalty, they're giving those months back to you. It's as if you delayed. Let's jump over to a slideshow I made for you guys to further understand how this works. Let's go back to that original case for Mary where she had a $10,220 annual penalty. If she continues making above that threshold over the next 4 years until she reaches her full retirement age, her total penalty over those 4 years would be $40,880. That's the $10,220 multiplied by 4. So what the administration will do is divide that penalty by her monthly Social Security benefit. We know that for Mary, she filed early at 62, she was receiving $20,000 per year. That divided by 12, her monthly benefit is $1,667. So if we divide that $40,880, the total penalty over those 4 years, by her benefit, monthly benefit, that equals 25 months to be added to the recalculation. So a little bit about how the recalculation works before we continue on. If our full retirement age is 66 and we start early like Mary at 62, It is a 25% reduction. So what they do with this 25 months is they reduce that 25%. So from 0 to 36 months, and we know that Mary falls within 0 to 36 months, they're going to multiply each of those months by 0.55%. That's posted on their website. For anything over 37 months, it's going to be 0.42%. We take Mary's 25 months by that 0.55%, which equals 13.75%. So no longer does Mary have to deal with that 25% reduction. That reduction is smaller now. So to continue the math, we take 100% less that 13.75%, and that equals 86.25. Bear with me here because the answer is next, and there it is. Her benefit, 1667, divided by 86.25% tells us what her full retirement age benefit will now be when calculating back in the 25 months worth of benefits that she paid in penalties. So we begin to see that this is truly not a penalty, but more so a deferment of payment, to use Nice Guy School's words. For every month of benefit you pay towards those penalties, they're going to add that month to when you started your benefits. So if you started at 62, but you paid 1 month in penalties worth of your benefit, well, now it's as if you started at 62 in 1 month. And we know that the longer we wait, the longer we delay, the more we get back. I'm going to jump back to the slideshow where I built out that scenario that Nice Guy School asked about, where somebody retires and is collecting their benefit but earning twice the annual exempt amount, twice the threshold. That's because their Social Security benefit at that point would be 0. So how does their retirement benefit look when they reach their full retirement age? Is it the same as if they would have just delayed from 62 to 66? Let's jump over and find out. Let's jump back to that first case for Mary where she had a $20,000 annual benefit, but in this case, I've bumped her earned income to $60,000. So then we run the earnings test. We've got $60,000 minus the exempt amount of $19,560, and she is over the exempt amount by $40,440. Well, guess what? $40,440 multiplied by that 50% penalty is $20,220, which means that her Social Security benefit for 2023 will be 0 because that $20,220 is greater than her annual benefit of $20,000. So she will not collect a benefit in 2023. And if she continues to make this income, which we will assume, she will not have a Social Security benefit all the way and up to her full retirement age. So how does that look in terms of what her benefit will be when she does reach her full retirement age? Well, we can answer that by looking here. We've got that $20,000 annual penalty. Even though it's a little over $20,000, they're just going to take $20,000 because it's going to be equal to whatever the benefit was. Over 4 years, that's $80,000, right? So we do our little formula from earlier where we have $80,000 worth of penalties paid divided by her monthly benefit at 62. That was taken early. The $20,000 divided by 12 months. 1,667, and that equals 48 months. Are we seeing something here? Well, that's 4 years worth, right? Let's continue forward. From 0 to 36 months, she's going to get 0.55% back on that 25% reduction for starting at 62. For anything more than 37 months, it's 0.42%. So let's just do a little math down here at the bottom. First 36 months are multiplied by 0.55%. We can see that up here. So that's 19.8. The next 12 months, 37 or more, are multiplied by 0.42%. That's 5.04%. What do we see here? 25%. She had a 25% reduction for filing early at 62. She just got that back. So 100% minus that, call it 25%. I round it up here to 75%. So all we do is take her monthly benefit, the $1,667, we divide it by that 75%, and Mary's monthly benefit would be $2,223 at her full retirement age. Now let's pull up a calculator real quick. So if we pull a calculator up and we take 2223, and we multiply that by 0.75, which is what she would receive filing early at 62, does it in fact equal what she is receiving today? 1667, and there it is. So with that example, it begins to make a lot more sense. If you did not receive a benefit because you paid it in penalties, It's no different than just delaying your benefit. It's benefits you never received. The reason why it's confusing with all the other examples is because it's partial, and then that formula gets a little tricky. But if we just consider that you do not collect the benefit because you pay them in penalties, and that at your full retirement age, well, you receive the full retirement amount 100%, it becomes very clear to us that there's no real difference between paying your benefit in penalty and having delayed. Hopefully that clarifies how the penalty of your benefit is refunded. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the episode and looking forward to seeing you in the next one.